about Feingold Association and your
Sure.
involvement.
Well, I'm also very grateful to the people who went before me and to Dr. Feingold, because he was the one who was an eminent doctor, very well-respected pediatrician and allergist and chief of allergy at Kaiser Permanente. And he discovered, quite to his surprise, that not only can foods cause allergic type reactions, whether it be hives or asthma or other respiratory problems, but he found that certain food additives can also affect behavior and the ability to focus and learn. And we learned about the Feingold program at a time when my husband was suffering terribly from migraine headaches. And he had been, of course, to many, many doctors, but in retrospect, it seems very strange to me that no doctor ever said to him, I wonder why you're getting migraine headaches. The only answers he ever got were in the form of a prescription. And back then, I thought that if you had an illness or a medical problem, you take the right drug and it takes care of it. I had no idea that my husband's problems were stemming from the sort of foods that I was preparing. The convenience foods with these synthetic dyes in them, with artificial flavoring, with preservatives and things like that. And after all, the government allowed him, so I figured they must be okay, because surely the Food and Drug Administration would never allow anything in our food if it could hurt us. Well, I've changed my views quite a bit since then. So when my husband's migraine stopped, after he stopped eating petroleum-based dyes, artificial flavors, things like that, then I paid more attention and really was careful about what I fed my daughter. Now, my daughter had what today would be called ADHD, but back in the 70s it hadn't been invented yet, so it was just a quirky kid who didn't behave very well. Now, here's the funny thing. This quirky kid behaved well some of the time, but not other times. So how come a child has a disorder on Monday and Tuesday, but not on Wednesday and Thursday? So it was all very confusing. Of course, like most mothers, I spent the first few years thinking that I must be doing something wrong. Finally, I decided that my husband and I couldn't have made that many mistakes, that there was another reason for our daughter's unpredictable behaviors. So we tried the Feingold diet with her after we saw the profound change in my husband, and boom, in a very short time, there was a complete change in her personality and in her behavior as well. And the old behaviors would return when there would be a mistake or an infraction. Now, not every child has the big wow that quickly, but 3 days to a week is not unusual once you actually go on the Feingold program and do it carefully. And that's where our nonprofit comes in. We're here to show people how they can test out the Feingold program, how they can figure out if maybe, their child's asthmatic attacks or night terrors or difficulty in school or temper tantrums or any of these other symptoms could possibly be being triggered by foods or food additives. And what we do as a nonprofit support group is to try to make the whole process a lot easier. And particularly since you started using the Feingold diet, and I did too many years ago, today we have so much help and so much information. We can show a parent how to go to their supermarket, which mac and cheese mix to buy, which cake mix is okay, which beverages. We can teach them how to get their child's cooperation, how to get the school to work with them, how to deal with the mother-in-law or the other relatives. We've been there. We've been doing this work now for over 30 years, so we have an awful lot of good information to share with people. So that's what we're doing now, and I'm just one of a whole lot of people who have been doing this work for a long time. We're parents who have seen the difference in ourselves and in our children, and our goal is to share it with others.